action fanatics, Actionversary is upon us, and we have a full house here on this episode of the Bulletproof Podcast. I am your host, Chris the Brain. Joining me once again, it is the Toyman, Chris DePetrillo.
Happy to be here with the four horsemen of Bulletproof Action, the core four, if you will. Shout out to my 3-6 fans out there for another part four that we'll be talking about in just a few moments after we introduce our two other cohorts here.
That is right. Ryan Campbell is back.
Kick by kick, day by day. What's going on, everybody?
Wonderful. He's in a singing mood, and can you believe it? 2 weeks in a row, he's back. Chad Cruz, it must be Actionversary.
It's an Actionversary miracle.
It is.
I wouldn't go that far. We do have a full house tonight, but I'd say we take it step by step here.
Indeed.
Because who knows what might happen.
We have taken it movie by movie because we recorded Kickboxer 3 last week. I hope everybody checked that one out. Here we are with Kickboxer 4, the Aggressor. But as I said, it's Actionversary, and I want to talk a little bit about bulletproofaction.com. Now, if you've been to the site over the past week, you might think I'm the only one who works there. But I assure you, there are more things coming. In fact, Matt Spector will be dropping one of his final... He's wrapping up an August tradition with... on this Thursday with his latest from the Ed McBain series of films. So check that one out. And I know Toyman is going to be busy because he's got a scene of the week. That's right, folks. Scene of the week is back for Actionversary. And a feature that you created, Toyman, that you're finally coming back to, the Essential Episodes.
Essential episodes, yeah, we've got that. This does not take away from the fact that there will be some No Surrender Cinema articles as well, but it's Actionversary. We got to pump out that content, so definitely be on the lookout for the return of Scene of the Week. It is not just myself doing one. We're going to have some contributors for that segment, that post throughout Actionversary. Essential Episodes is going to focus on an old favorite of mine. I don't want to bury the lead here. And then No Surrender Cinema, we're going to go back to the PM Entertainment well for a look at something starring the late, great Michael Madsen.
That's right, some PM Entertainment, because PM Entertainment was a big part of Actionversary in years past. So was the man we're talking about today, well, his movie, Albert Pyun. Back in 2020, we had the ultimate Albert Pyun countdown as part of Actionversary. This year, another director who is somewhat notorious, Sergio Santiago, will be our focus. But Albert Pyun, Chad Cruz,
yes,
what an interesting character he was when he was on this earth. He had a unique vision, and it often involved kickboxers and cyborgs. Sometimes both in the same movie if you're lucky.
Right, and two things I think near and dear to our hearts here at Bulletproof Action. We could spend a half a year probably talking about cyborgs and kickboxing movies. And I think that all of us probably grew up in some phase of that, the martial arts craze. I can remember just driving down the street and being like, looking out to my right and seeing every mini mall had a karate studio in it. So it felt right. It felt normal to see a new kickboxing movie hitting the shelves every week. And watching him back in now as an elderly man,
wow,
it still feels right.
It really does. And yes, this one actually was number 9 on the Ultimate Albert Pyun countdown. It is Kickboxer 4, the Aggressor, released here in the United States on July 27th, 1994. Toyman, what do you remember as far as when the first time you saw Kickboxer 4?
Snagged this one right off the shelves of Major Video, which was our video store at the time. Having been a fan of the series, my love for especially Kickboxer 2 has been well documented on Bulletproof Action and here on this podcast. So yeah, this was an instant grab for me when I saw it on the new release shelf.
Ryan Campbell, I assume your first watching of this was when you watched it last week.
That is correct. Yeah. I think I've seen the first 2, but the ones with Mr. Step by Step, I've never seen. No.
Well, he's in the second one, so you may not have seen the second one then.
Maybe I didn't. I thought I did.
Well, he's
So I
the
certainly
star
didn't
of
know that he
that.
was this because when he popped up, I was like, "Isn't that the dude from Step by Step? That was like the dopey friend."
You've only seen Kickboxer 1, and you've seen. I know you've seen the remakes.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, I have seen
Yeah.
the initial one and then the remakes is what I'm thinking of.
Chad Cruz. How about you? What was? Do you remember when you first saw this movie?
I can't recall. I don't remember. I probably didn't see it, right when it came out. I was never a huge fan of the Sasha Mitchell led movies. So, this one might've came later in my life, and it was probably one of those ones that was on late at night on some channel, and I caught bits here and there, and eventually I pieced together a whole film. But I mean, 10 years ago, it was probably the first time I sat down and really watched it, whenever we started this godforsaken site.
That was 11. We're going on 11.
Oh God.
Yeah, I can honestly say I don't think I saw this one until the site. I really don't. Maybe I saw like you saw pieces of it. Probably saw
Right.
fake Tong Po and was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" and turned it off.
Right.
But
You
and
mean
I had
drag
seen
queen
3.
Tong Po?
I had seen 3, but what? How did I don't know. That's why I almost kind of assumed like, did this come way later than?
Yeah.
But no, not really. It was right there, but I passed on it back in the 90s.
Yeah. There's some positives. We'll get to them.
We will. And let's get into it. So the movie, directed by Albert Pune, as we've discussed, we find out, Chris, that David Sloan is behind bars.
Yeah, behind bars, apparently framed by Tong Po, who is alive and coming back for vengeance. Now, when we last saw David Sloan, he was rescuing women in Rio from being, sex trafficked, human trafficked. And now all of a sudden we find out that he's got this backstory of working for the DEA, and Tong Po has framed him, put him in prison, kidnapped his wife, and the implication is there right in the opening credits after we get a flashback to the first 2 films that he has also raped her.
Yeah. Kickboxer 1, Kickboxer 2 get flashbacks. Kickboxer 3, as far as this world is concerned, it didn't matter. And it really doesn't matter to the overall, obviously, to the Sloan Tong Po rivalry, Chad Cruz, because obviously Tong Po had nothing to do with Rio.
Right. No, he didn't. And really, this movie, it starts out guns blazing. It really lays in hard with he's writing the letter in prison. He's in the clink, he's writing this letter, and we're getting all this backstory that somehow 10 years of backstory in the last 12 months since the third one came out. But a shitload of backstory.
I think that's another reason why when I first, I'm like, oh, this must have been released way after the other ones. No,
he's got this loving wife that we never met before, and then boom, she's kidnapped, and awful things are happening to her, like instantly. You're like, oh my God. Okay. Well, he's definitely going to murder this guy at the end of the movie.
Well, yeah, we'll find out. We also are introduced to Tong Po's right-hand man, and I know you loved the character last week.
Yeah.
What was his name? Pete?
Yeah.
What do you feel about Bill?
Bill felt right, because Bill, like, he's got the neck tattoo. He was like kind of a mouthpiece for Tong Po. I don't know how much Tong Po could really talk and enunciate because of all the prosthetics on his face. So Bill was a great mouthpiece to him, and he was a pussy, So like you just knew he was going to get it in the end.
Played by Pete.
When I see Tom Matthews pop up in an action movie, everyone knows him from Friday the 13th Part 6, playing Tommy Jarvis.
Yeah.
But when I see Tom Matthews in an action movie, I always feel like they wanted Michael Dudikoff but couldn't get him.
Yeah, he's a Pune favorite, though. He's been in a number of Albert Pune films,
including Blood Match, which came up on the Dale Jacoby episode.
It surely did, and it was filmed right directly after Kickboxer 2.
Right after Kickboxer 2, so that ties into this one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why the character of Bill was an angry drunk. He's like, why did Albert put me in this fucking Blood Match movie?
He's also in Heat Seeker, which is another. That's one I do enjoy as well. So yeah, all that stuff I think you mentioned it, Chad. All of it happens before the opening credits. So Albert Pune, say what you will about the man, but he jams as much as he can in his movies. because all that was the opening credits are done, and that's where we then get to the prison. Back to the prison. There's mail call. Tong Po, that bastard, has mailed a picture of Vicky to David with a note saying, "I'm taking good care of her" on the back. That's dirty.
This is the second time Tong Po has raped one of the Sloan brothers' ladies.
Right.
Tong Po came off like he is the ultimate heel, isn't he? Like I don't know if there's he's just a despicable, and I don't know if I can think of another series where that same character. I mean, we've seen bad guys do stuff like that, but now over 4 films in, the dude's still running ruckshot over his family. Like I don't know, like it's almost dragged out too long at this point because this guy is just the worst motherfucker on the planet.
And what's even more interesting is that in Kickboxer 2, they went as so far as to have the paintings on the Sloan gym wall, they did not resemble Van Damme and Dennis Alexio on that wall. But here we got 5 minutes of footage from the original Kickboxer and from Kickboxer 2 featuring Van Damme and Dennis Alexio. So it's like, was Albert like, okay, look, this is the 4th film. We might be losing some people here. We might be losing some steam. Let's throw some Van Damme in there. Let's actually get the ball rolling and show this in the beginning so we'll keep people watching.
And we get, we're meeting Tong Po in a weird way here, but he's also kind of like glowed up since then. Like he was in part 2 getting his ass
I wouldn't
kicked.
call it that.
Well,
they're showing original Tong Po footage.
I don't mean
physically. This Tong Po looks like he's ready for a night out with the girls.
Maybe they were banking on, they never thought visual quality would go beyond VHS.
Physically, he looks like a burn patient, right? But he's like runs a drug cartel in Mexico. Yeah. Like where the hell did that come from? You know what I mean? Now, he's got a career now, guys. Like give him a little
he's
credit.
Also, what did Bill say when they were at the dinner? He's like, he's an accomplished music producer.
Yeah,
like,
record producer.
Like Tong Po was all of a sudden Suge Knight.
I forgot all about. I don't know if I ever remembered hearing that, but I am like, I'm going to tell you right now, there will be a social media post where I want people, and they won't. This will just go ignored like most things. But I'm going to ask, what records do you think Tong Po was responsible? Personally, I think he had something to do with the Venga Boys, but that's me. Maybe you have a better suggestion, everyone.
Maybe Tong Po let the dogs out.
I could have seen that too. It seems like that's the type of stuff he would be into.
He was in Mexico. Maybe he was living La Vida Loca.
Also possible. But yeah, Tong Po, I would say, I mean, I think maybe from the neck down, he may have had a better physique than he ever had.
Yeah, maybe shorter.
Yeah, his freaking face, Jesus, help me.
That's right.
Yeah, it looks like Melted Man or something. So yeah, we get to see David in action. He's in a prison yard fight because if you're going to be have a prison movie, you may as well have a fight somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
prison yard's just as good as any place.
Even though he's not in prison attire, he's literally wearing what Cody would be wearing on Step by Step. He's just in jeans and a flannel shirt.
Listen, we have a budget we have to work with here.
I mean, would he have also maybe been filming episode? Like, because his haircut's the exact same too. When did he stop on Step by Step? I have no idea the time frame of these things.
Chad Cruz
he was still on Step by Step at this time.
Yeah, he was still on Step. He was in the first 5 seasons of Step by Step before he was canned.
Isn't there an episode in there where he gets like in a bar fight?
Yeah.
Oh boy, we were
just talking about that. He beats the fuck out of some people in a bar, and they're like, "Oh my god, cousin Cody's an ass whooper," and he's like, "Yeah, bro, like I'm gonna kick your ass, bro."
Well, there's the karate tournament episode too, where Dale Jacoby's the evil sensei and he fights him.
Mm-hmm. See, I missed all this.
I will say that David Sloan, he's looking more jacked. Every movie, I feel like he's put on an additional 10 pounds of muscle. So this was right around the time he had Class of 1999 too. And I think that he carried a lot of that over here because he was a little less surfer dude zen and a lot more like very hardened, disgruntled, like very robotic in his movements. Like the way he's walking around, it's almost like you thought like he was like Piper and They Live with the sunglasses the whole time. Well, he was in prison too.
Yeah.
That's
he's
true. Yeah,
probably
what does
got
he say in the movie? It's been a hard couple of years or something.
He's got to walk around with his butt cheeks clenched all the time.
Oh, yeah. Well, after his prison yard fight, they throw him into solitary confinement, but then the guards come and get him because he has a guest. It's Nicholas Guest, as a matter of fact, playing Casey Ford, another Albert Pune regular. Casey's with the DEA, and he's like, hey, David, Tong Po is now the most powerful drug lord in Mexico. But you know what? He also holds a tournament every year, and we want you to get into this tournament. But the thing is, he can't know that it's you. So we'll give you the assumed identity of Jack Jones, but you look exactly the same.
We'll do
Except for the
nothing else.
sunglasses.
Not a beard. He's been in prison this time, and not even like a 5 o'clock shadow.
No.
They should have just slapped a fake beard and a wig on him in prison.
Right.
And then they cut his hair and like, there, he'll never recognize you.
They thought since it was an entirely different Tong Po that he wouldn't remember. He wouldn't know.
Yeah. Maybe he's like, that looks like David Sloan, but he looks about 10 pounds heavier, so it can't be him.
Right, because he had no ability. So his primary mission will be take out Tong Po, but secondary mission will be rescue Vicky. At least as far as the DEA is concerned. I wonder if David had that flipped in his brain.
I hope so.
Now, speaking of looks, do you guys know where Nicholas Guest might look familiar to you from? Because I guarantee we have all seen him in something, some of us more so than others.
Right.
But there is one especially famous role that I'm pretty sure all four of us have seen him in.
That is right. Ryan Campbell, you go first.
Oh, man.
I love putting him on the spot.
I know, this is like your favorite thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. I watched the movie like last week. It's probably not fresh enough in my mind.
He was the neighbor.
Oh, I see it now on IMDb.
Of the Griswolds in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, I don't think I would have got that.
But yes, he's also in any number of Albert Pune movies. Anything else anybody wants to throw out there?
He's done a lot of video game work that I know.
For me, he was the headmaster, Mr. Elliott, on USA High, which was produced by Peter Engel. It was supposed to be a TNBC Saturday morning show, but it's the one that they put on the USA Network every afternoon after school.
Of course.
There we go. I love it.
Well, Cherry Cruz, do you have anything you want to mention about Nicholas Guest?
Nah, I think he's pretty mediocre myself.
Okay. Well, he's does his part and then he's done. So David's out of prison. He's just got his flannel. He's got sunglasses. I did wonder if these are hypno sunglasses. Maybe that's gonna help.
Bro, that makes so much sense.
That does make sense.
He would have to take the glasses off to fight, so we're gonna still have a problem. But maybe it'll help him.
Did he have them in prison? Did he have the sunglasses on in prison?
No, I don't think so. I don't think those are allowed. It's contraband.
Okay. Yeah, well,
unless you're blind, maybe you can
put it in your prison wallet.
Yeah. So then David finds like these underground fights that are going on because literally if you watch movies in the 90s, they were everywhere. You just had to know the places to find them.
Well, I mean, there's a big tournament coming up. You got to get some practice reps in. You can't. Nothing simulates like the real thing, like a real fight. So.
Yeah, so he
gotta get them reps.
He's get the underground fight. He does a little stretching. Then he just like, all right, these two guys are fighting. Watch this. I'll take them both on. So then this small time promoter's like, oh man, that was great. I could get a percentage if I can get you into this big money tournament in Mexico. And David's like, yeah, whatever. Make it happen. He doesn't want to know the details. He just needs to get there.
Just head south.
Head south. And then we see the step-by-step episode because he goes to a bar and immediately starts beating everybody up.
Yeah.
Because he's helping Michelle Mouse Krasno of WMAC fame, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, she appeared in that show. I don't remember her as like being a normal character on the show, but maybe she was. I don't know.
That was after my time.
She was also in Full Contact with our friend Jerry Trimble.
He's our friend.
Well, I mean,
news to me.
Complimented my reviews. We still got to get him on the podcast.
That's right. Oh, that is right. That's all it takes. And I'm gonna come up. I'll come back
to the pod.
We got a compliment.
I'll come back to that in a minute.
Love that guy.
So yeah, we get the obligatory bar fight. Megan's not appreciative that David helped her out. He's like, "Hey, you're going to that big tournament in Mexico, aren't you? Well, hopefully, if we meet, let's pretend this never happened." Basically, so David, or Jack Jones, as he is known, is one of
Double J.
Double J. That's Jack. All right. He's one of the last to show up at Tong Po's compound, and he's greeted by hospitality manager Darcy Cove, who has quite a question for him. Ryan Campbell.
I know that I don't know if Mr. Jones was hard, but I sure was.
Oh boy.
Oh dear goodness.
Thanks for sharing, Ryan.
Yeah. She asked.
This podcast is sponsored by 1-900-HOT-HOT, apparently.
No, by Blue Chew, you bastard.
Blue
Just
Chew,
how
yeah.
hard are you, Mr. Jones? Is the question. Obviously, some double entendre there.
Yeah.
And she is quite the hospitable manager.
She's just making sure all the fighters are in tip-top shape. You know?
Right, got their juices flowing.
That's right.
But you know what? Just because you were invited, you still have to qualify.
Makes no sense.
A lot of this doesn't, Chad. And Bill is overseeing the qualifiers, and that's where David or Jack spots Megan. Is okay, she is here. And then we get our first look at Lando, played by Brad Thornton, who, by Toyman standards, Chad Cruz, Brad Thornton should basically be your blood brother, because you actually met him and spoke to him in person for a few minutes.
Right.
And you sent him a shirt that he wore and put it on social media.
Yeah, he's practically on staff.
I feel like blood brother,
let's get him on here.
Eskimo brother, you know.
Oh,
that could be a good
wow.
one too.
You get Darcy Cove.
Me and Darcy. Yeah, let's try it out. Yeah, I mean, BT, Brad Thornton, like my guy, appearing as Lando, which is an interesting name. But what the great thing I love about
the second best Lando in movie history. Can we all agree with that?
You've had a hard fight.
His name just wasn't Lando. It was Lando Smith.
Right. Maybe that's why, like the Smith, they're like, oh, we got such a boring last name. Let's give our son an interesting name.
Well, no,
Lando.
You know, we're later going to find out more about Lando, but I think it's one of those, like, the agency gave you a name and it's like the lamest shit, most boring name you could put. Jack Jones.
Right.
You know,
right,
Don Johnson. Sorry.
What are you dissing Don Johnson for?
I don't think it's his real name.
Okay. Well, anyway, Chad Cruz's blood brother, Brad Thornton, Eskimo brother, plays Lando. We also meet Thomas, who this is my theory. I think he's the aggressor. I think he's the titular aggressor, because this guy he's got problems. He wants to always like kill his opponents.
Yeah.
He takes it too far. He's very aggressive is what I'm saying.
Right. We've got a real name problem with this movie.
Yeah. Thomas, Bill.
Everyone's got shitty names.
Yeah.
Bill, I don't mind as a character, but the name is stupid. But it's like you know, Albert Pune, you need to watch a little bit more pro wrestling. You know what I mean? You need to, these names should be memorable. They, you know.
Well, he didn't have his like favorite name in here, Brick Bardo. He loves using Brick Bardo in his movies. Why wasn't Bill
Tom Matthews was Brick Bardo
in other movies? Yeah. Why wasn't he just Brick Bardo here?
What would have been a good name for Gary Robbins in this film if he was one of the fighters?
Oh, Gary Robbins.
Frank
Maple.
There you go. That's good. I like it.
Well, you know, pretty soon we're going to get another bout between Jack and Megan, which is the fucking worst names in history. Like,
sounds like a CBS sitcom or something.
Yeah, it's like Tekken 75.
What happened on Days of Our Lives? Jack and Megan fought today. Will the baby be safe?
Well, I don't know, but Jack is like, Meg, why are you involved in this? You're gonna get murdered. Why don't you just leave? And then she's like, you got to fight me, but he just chokes her out because he doesn't want to punch her.
It's sad, really.
Yeah. So then Jack drops his stuff off at his room, since apparently he's qualified, and then he starts snooping around, which is going to be a theme for Jack / David.
Really lack security for all the security guards and guns around. They seem to have a lot of blind spots.
It is a weird timeline too, because Jack was the last one to show up. So there's no better way to enter a fighting tournament than to show up with no rest, to just walk all the way to fucking Mexico and start fighting people.
He hitched a ride. He had that ride on the pickup.
Yeah, he got a 20-minute ride. And then he's all sweaty and nasty. So he like starts ninjaing around the complex. He's motivated. It's good.
Well, Lando decides like, what the hell is this Jack guy up to? So he knows who he really is. Chris, I'm going to call upon you because you know everything about things. So he's like, hey, I'm Andrew Smith's younger brother. Are we supposed to know who in the fuck Andrew Smith is?
We are not, because this was thrown in there, and I had a feeling this was going to come up before I was reading your notes, and I actually made a note to myself, because now, timeline-wise, we are to believe this has only been over the span of about 5 years or so, from Kickboxer 1 with Van Damme to this one now. That's the way it happened in reality. We're kind of going with the flow of reality here. Kickboxer 2, David Sloan took over the gym. He was dealing with like the kids in the ghetto, trying to help them out. There were several incidents where the girl at the gym brought like a street kid to him, and he was like teaching them, right from wrong, and here's what you need to do. You're not as hot as you think, or whatever. So let's say that was only 3 or 4 years ago. Why is Lando talking to him as if he hasn't seen him for like 10, 15 years? Like, oh man, I grew up, I made something of myself. It's like,
but I think this is
David Sloan was only doing this like a couple of years back.
I think this is the 7th annual tournament, though.
Well, he spent he was in prison for 2 years, right?
2 years.
Yeah.
And somewhere he found a wife and got married. Well, maybe Andrew Smith was his student pre-Kickboxer 2, because he already had the school in Kickboxer 2. So maybe Andrew was like 19. He'd already aged out of it. So we never met Andrew Smith at Kickboxer 2.
Yeah.
It really
another dull
matter.
Name though.
True. The real question is, you said you made a note for yourself. Did you write a letter?
I did not write a letter.
And when you read it, did you hear your voice narrating it?
No, I actually heard Nicholas Guest's voice narrating it, because he did so much voiceover work that I just hired him to do my podcast notes.
Really cheap.
Here's an idea. Send yourself a letter tomorrow. Put this: hello, I am a bald bastard, and then just send it to yourself, and you'll get it in the mail in a few days. I was waiting for you to somehow tell me that Andrew Smith was Brian Austin Green, because I figured you would just try to jam that in there. But again, that doesn't follow any sensible timeline either, because Brian Austin Green was quite young, so his younger brother would be even younger. And how could he be a grown-ass Lando Smith?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, if they really wanted to throw it in there, you could have been like, oh, I'm Vince Murdocho's cousin.
And that's what I'm like, was Vince Murdocho's name Andrew Smith in that movie? And I'm like, then I looked, I'm like, no. No.
He could have been like, I'm Zien's nephew, Lando.
He could have been
Marcos.
Yeah, Marcos.
Yeah,
where the hell was Marcos? MVP of the last movie, just completely ignored.
I think he probably took over the business that the bad guy when they took him out. He took over the business.
I thought you were gonna say he took over David's gym. He moved in and took over.
He was more of a knife guy,
He was
fighter.
So yeah, we find out that David and Lando somehow are acquainted, and he's like, hey, I'm here to find my wife Vicky, who he also knows Vicky. Like, oh, she was great. She brought the Rice Krispie treats to the bake sale or whatever the fuck. Anyway,
Rice Krispie treats, so good.
Yeah. So I was like, I need to find info. And it's like, oh, well, I may know who can help us out. Oh, somebody who works there? You're a fucking genius, Lando. So Lando goes and hits up Darcy. And he's like, hey, what about where are all the women at, basically? Where you guys keep the women? And she's like, what are you worrying about? And then we find out that Tong Po has a thing for young girls. So Megan's probably going to be okay.
Mhm.
He's going to keep her around for as long as he can. But yeah, when he starts prying, like, where are these women being kept? And she's like, nah, I got to go. And, dinner will be soon anyway. So then we cut to Tong Po getting a massage. And here, Chad Cruz, you had mentioned the prosthetics and making it difficult for him to speak. Perhaps that's why he's working on his diction.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah, I
this
mean,
is just something that he was really doing, like he had to do to get.
Well, and if you're going to be the drug kingpin, you gotta be able to command the room. You got to be able to really be able to speak to these high end generals and politicians that you're extorting. So he's working on he's really taking it serious. He's putting in the work, Brain.
He should have been working on his Spanish because he's in Mexico.
Right, yeah.
What a
I'm just
fucking
wondering,
idiot.
did he actually have to do this to get used to the mask? So he was, and they're like, oh, let's just put it in the movie.
I think they should have said somehow after Kickboxer 2, he was either disfigured or he was so shamed that he got some sort of fucking prosthetic implant bullshit like facial reconstructive surgery. And now
I could not look at myself in the mirror.
He looks like a mutant now,
Or maybe he went back. You could have shown him like going back to Thailand, and like they were so disgusted that like somebody threw something in his face, or
they beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, where he had
candle wax.
You disgrace
He had
us.
one of those botched surgeries.
Bucket Botox face, just full of it.
So yeah, now we go to this banquet, and this is nothing like other banquets, but they tried their best. They have musicians there, and they're playing some music, some set the mood. But then Bill gets on the microphone, and he's like, shut that fucking music off. And he gives Tong Po the big introduction. And yes, this is where they drop the record producer. And that blew my mind. I had to like pause the movie for a moment because I was just like, what? How did I not remember hearing this when I've watched it in the past? And then my brain was just trying to think of Tong Po, what would he be producing? And again, it just went to We Like to Party by the Venga Boys. And I don't know why. It just did. That was the first thing that popped into my head.
I think the entertainment industry, you're exposed to young women. That's probably why he did it.
That's
right?
true. That's true. He could casting couch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, then Tong Po gets on the mic, and I mean, he's got the crowd in the palm. They're hooting and hollering. They're barking like they're on Arsenio Hall. They're having a good time, and it's like, enjoy yourselves now because the tournament begins tomorrow at 7 a.m.
It's an early start time.
Very early.
I'd probably miss my first fight.
You would, but then after that announcement, then everyone gets laid, and then Kenny Loggins' music starts playing. Chris.
So we've got a lot of little odd inclusions here. We get the flashbacks in the beginning. Now we've got Kenny Loggins. Albert doing the Lord's work to get as many, I don't know if you want to call them distractions, but it's almost like, hey, let's throw in like these little Easter eggs. Let's get people thinking about something else while they're watching this film.
Yeah, I definitely started thinking about Caddyshack at this time and Rodney Dangerfield. But I think about him pretty much once a day anyway. So then Lando turns to David, and thank you, Lando. Thank you, Brad Thornton, Chad Cruz's Eskimo brother.
My guy.
Thank you so much. Best friends from way back in the early days of Bulletproof Action.
I'm pretty sure
Chad
we both
Cruz was doing work.
We both had leather jackets that night.
Yeah, you guys looked so cool together. I was so jealous that you were getting to meet such a superstar.
Yeah, dude. I got the rub off him too. I was trying to pick up his scraps.
What did you?
I rubbed him. I said I got the rub off of him. I was trying to pick up his scraps. Yeah, yeah. All of those things are true.
Okay, well, at least you admit it. He's like, hey, isn't Tong Po gonna recognize you once you start fighting tomorrow?
Good question.
And then he's like, well, if I find Vicky before that, we won't have to worry about it. Well, yeah, that's a great plan, David. Darcy then stops by and is like, hey, you see any of these ladies that if any of they caught your eye? And he's like, no. And then Jeff's like, I'm just going to my room. And he's like, oh. She's a little put off that Lando didn't take that opportunity to be like, I want to diddle you.
Oh God.
Right?
Do you think that's like a thing that women want to hear?
She definitely wanted to
Wow,
hear
you're getting
that.
called up. You're getting called up by Chad on a sexual comment. What's this world coming to?
No, I want to diddle you.
I'm trying to clean things up for the.
Somehow it was worse. Lando looks like a diddler. I gotta be
yeah, maybe.
She wanted Lando to diddle her, and then both of them drink some Colt 45 afterwards.
That's right.
So, but yeah, he's just kind of whatever. So she's like, what the hell's with this guy? It's one of those probably that what you can't have. It makes her want him even more.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's playing hard to get. Smart kid.
Tong Po then is like, hey, wait a minute, I've got another announcement to make. There's another fighter who wants a second chance. It's Megan, and if anyone could beat her before she qualifies in my weird whatever way we qualify.
I was going to say very flimsy format here for the tournament.
This is like Vince Russo booking. It's
very much so.
Let's just let's put her in here, and $25,000 bonus for anyone who gets. We do get a I believe it was your boy BT who calls him a bastard.
My God.
The musicians are like, let's get the hell out of here. I'm like, why were they even there to begin with? They should have just played the Venga Boys, or one of Tong Po's musical acts should have been there. I hope it wasn't those three.
Maybe they were, yeah.
It's probably one of his acts that owes him a favor or something.
Like Kicks.
Yep.
Throwback to the Body Slam episode. Check it out in the archives. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then Megan, she's doing good, but she starts getting cocky, and that means Tong Po has to come off his high horse or throne. And but then Lando's like, no way, you can't be just beating up on this chick. And now it's Lando and Megan team up Chad Cruz. I mean, I bet you the theater, this probably was never in the theater. I bet you people watching at home are real excited to finally see this dream team that they've been hoping would happen.
The people erupted, right?
Yeah.
Megan and Mr. Smith.
People they went to the theater and then went into whatever movie was playing and just started losing their shit.
Losing their minds. And you know what? I will say this, right? Lando's fighting style is unique.
Yeah.
Right? He's like he's doing the Bruce Lee.
Yeah, he did that. Yeah.
Remember, he's got like the fast punches and stuff. So that's cool. I'm glad it wasn't just like him emulating David Sloan because his brother was taught by David Sloan, and I'm assuming Lando learned from his brother. I don't have any clue.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. Now, Megan, very cocky for a person who got choked out in 5 seconds a minute ago. Yeah. But I guess that's part of her character. That's why you're supposed to kind of.
Well, she's overcompensating too, I would imagine. She feels she has to portray herself bigger because she is an underdog.
Right.
And Darcy, however, she was not excited about this Lando Megan team up.
I don't know, though. I think that she was. I think she was right. She's jealous, of course, that Lando cares so much about Megan. Right. Am I right, Brian?
Right.
But deep down in her loins, there's
where the diddling happens.
There, the diddling occurs. There's heat buildup and there's moisture buildup, and we all know what happens. Chemistry, right? It's a chemistry class. There's going to be an explosion of sorts.
This is the grossest episode.
Well, David, while all that's going on, is snooping around again. Afterwards, Lando's once again like, hey, you probably just want to dip out here, Megan, because this is just going to keep getting worse for you, which we then cut back to more David snooping, which is just something we go to transition from scene to scene.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to find anything in all of this.
No, he eventually gets there, but
he's gonna find something real good coming up here in a minute.
He's got to put on the mask to find things. But before we get to there, before he puts something on, Chad Cruz, Darcy comes to Lando's room and starts taking some stuff off.
Oh yeah.
She's ready to get diddled.
She does. I think she said diddle me, like right to his face.
I think she did too.
Yeah, she strips down, but give some credit to Lando. Like he's there for a tournament. Seemingly he's there to win a tournament.
Right.
And I think that as an elite athlete, you have to be concerned about hydration. And when Darcy shows up and she strips down and there's like a glistening of her skin, there's you could tell that she's got that she's ready to blow, right? And I think that Lando knows that by coming, he's going to lose a fair amount of that hydration, and he needs every ounce of fluid.
She even tries to get ahead of it and say that that's not a real thing.
Yeah, she tries to fake news it. Yeah. She calls fake news.
The jury's still out on that. Claim you fighters make.
Yeah. His name should have been Willpower at this
Seriously,
point.
Dude. I would have broken instantly.
We know.
And blown.
You may be broken just talking about it. We don't know. Thankfully, we're not on camera. So yeah, that when he's not interested, though, she kind of humiliated, leaves, and she's like, "Oh, you must like underage tramps," and storms off.
Heck of a line.
David is
Are you
now
disappointed that she didn't call him a bastard?
Oh, that would be a fitting spot to call him a bastard for sure. David has now. Did he draw this layout of the compound? Is that what all his snooping brought him? Was
or was that from the folder that the FBI guy just dropped at his feet on the sidewalk?
It could be, or was it part of the welcome package in his room? Like, here's our amenities. Here's where the vending machine is located. I don't know.
It is a pretty sparse, it's complex, so it's important to know where everything is. Where's the ice machine?
Yes.
Where's like all the brochures of other things to do in the area?
Mm-hmm.
The good thing is there's always a cabinet somewhere with extra towels and blankets and pillows. So once you find that thing, dude, you're in. It's going to be a good stay.
Especially if Darcy comes by, you might need extra towels because
I'm going to need. Yeah.
She's
for what brain? For what brain?
Just to clean up or pick up or absorb any juices that are flowing. Diddling could be messy at times, especially in the hot Mexican sun. Oh yeah, so now we get Mass Marauder, David, and I know Chad Cruz. This is where you really made a analogy to another much more famous and much better tournament film. Would you like to share with the class?
I would. And this kind of came about because you and I, we were kind of, I think I might have asked you when we're going to record this wonderful podcast, and I wasn't going to be able to make the date. So I said, go do it without me. Right. I'm a team player. You guys go without me.
Somebody cue the Creed.
You're able to do it. I love Creed. So it's, but I said, make sure you mention this movie is Albert Pune's version of Enter the Dragon. That sounds crazy, right? Enter the Dragon is a goddamn classic, and this movie is not. But we've got David Sloan, who is essentially playing the Bruce Lee character. He's hired by the federal agency to go in and find this fucking bad guy, and he's snooping around at night in all black, wearing a mask like a damn ninja. You've got two other kind of members of his crew that are being focused on. One of them's kind of the ladies' man. One of them's like, does he belong or does he not belong? And in this case, it's a woman, but diversity is great. So
are you saying Megan is Jim Kelly?
I am saying Megan is Jim Kelly, and I'm sorry to say that, but I know it sucks to say. Well, it's a step down, right? This is
many steps down.
But there's a lot here, right? You've got like the tournament that happens all the time, and there's all these fighters there. And the only thing that's missing really is instead of Bolo Young, we have fucking Bill. Right. He needed a
Thomas. Is Thomas like was it the Australian guy who's like being a loudmouth on the boat?
And Thomas is a big pussy anyways, right? The weird thing about Thomas is that he doesn't really make sense, right? He's kind of like a demented dude who's in this tournament. He's just like enjoying every bit of it, but he doesn't really have any skin in the game anywhere.
Does he have any English muffins?
He just loves killing.
Trains.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we get Mass Marauder, David, and Ryan Campbell. I know you were probably quite stunned to see one of the things that David stumbles upon.
My goodness, Brain. I don't know if this might be the most like graphic sex scene I've seen in any movie. He comes up on a threesome, and this isn't like just like a Hollywood, maybe some titties and like some grinding threesome. This is like straight up softcore porn for a good like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just put right smack dab in the middle of the movie. It was very graphic and quite a enjoyable experience. I will say.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. Yeah. I don't
video
remember it
store.
being that graphic.
Oh yeah. They were all butt ass naked in there.
Yeah, and like like doing stuff like not just like, oh, we've taken our tops off, now we just kind of like wiggle around for a few minutes and then we cut to the next scene. Like they were going at it. Like I'm pretty positive they just hired porn stars to film that scene.
Could be.
Nice.
Could be.
Would you say this is your favorite scene in the film?
By far, yes.
So far, definitely.
It's going to be on my scene of the week on the YouTube channel, and it will immediately get us banned off YouTube.
Well,
Scene of the week, OnlyFans account.
When it's time to just call it quits.
Yeah,
That's
scene
what
of the
we're
week.
Enjoy, everyone. We're going down in a blaze of
That's
glory.
right.
You know what? I did a scene of the week with Viggo Mortensen where his dick was hanging out.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
like
the first one. I think that was, yeah,
legendary.
like Chad Cruz, just letting it all hang out for everybody to see.
If you can beat people up with your cock hanging out, I mean, that's nothing more intimidating.
That's next level. Eventually he does, after he's kind of stuck there. I don't know if he was listening or he didn't. I don't know what was the point, but again, as to Ryan's point, we get a lot of that threesome. But then he being David, does look, and he's like, "Oh, look at this! I see Vicky through like this window," but he's trying to get it open. But now the guards are aware that there's somebody been prowling around, so he's got to retreat before he's caught. But now he's like, okay, she's here, she's alive. That's a big box to check off, Chris. I mean, because if she was dead, what do you think he would do? I mean, if he found her dead, like in ice or something in the ice that's a different movie. Whole different movie.
Now, if he didn't find her, if he just keeps looking and looking,
yeah, he could be there forever.
And he just ends up winning the tournament, and
he just keeps coming back around threesomes. Just keeps finding new threesomes.
He spent 3 nights
how
just
about
watching
when he
threesomes.
finds her and he just kind of gives the window like this little like loving pat, like I found you. That's all I needed to know.
Lando's
kind of like gently touches the window and runs.
Lando goes, "Did you find her?" And he's like, "I don't think so. I think I need to go check over in that area again for the 5th night in a row."
David becomes a porn producer when this is all over with.
Breathing awful heavy on that window there, Dave.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But Tong Po is now informed that there's been an intruder. So that leads to his very Han-like speech the next day.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "This is private property and you're guests here. Remember that. You're guests, you bastards." And then we get, as far as I'm concerned, and this is saying something, but I think the weakest part of this movie is like the tournament action. And no offense to anybody involved, it's
not a great tournament.
It's a lot of basic fighting,
right?
Well, it's not even really structured. Like we don't get like no montage of like getting through the rounds or anything like build up to certain fights. It's just like everyone's kind of dicking around for a few days. We get these qualifiers that I guess are kind of happening. And then the end, it's like, it was kind of just a ruse. It's everybody just kind of find somebody and then try to kill them.
Yeah, there's nobody to like Bloodsport is so, we talked about it here on this show, how perfectly booked that Bloodsport tournament was, that Kumite. I mean, you had investments in many different characters, and the characters, even if they were there for a short time, they stood out. Where these people are like Capoeiro pants, DeCasco's t-shirt guy.
That was cool. It looked like the dude who was in Only the Strong. Remember the guy like that? The guy's ass kicked and he took him off to the side.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, the kid, you mean? Shane, the one whose brother was the Haitian drug dealer guy.
Yes. Looked kind of like him.
Andrew Smith.
You know, I want to say this, Brian. You brought up Bloodsport. As we're filming this, today is Donald Gibbs' birthday.
We're filming. Okay.
As we're filming this, I've got a threesome happening behind me. Are you not filming this?
No.
As we're recording this, asshole.
Yeah. We're trying to bring the viewers in, not send them out.
Today is Donald Gibbs' birthday.
Yes. Happy birthday, Donald Gibb.
And no one loves a threesome more than Donald Gibb.
Right. I guess.
Does he like the gibble?
The Gibbler.
That's just that goes back to Full House.
Full House.
Gibbler.
We're doing the full circle of
it's TGIF here on the Bulletproof Podcast.
I think Step by Step had the hottest girls on it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
For sure, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Boy Meets World had some baddies.
They were too. You're right. That was good too.
I guess they were on the younger side, but that was my age, so maybe I identify it that way. Going back and watching it as an adult, you're like, okay, these are kind of you're a little different.
You're gonna be putting on the list if you start.
Chris, remember in Step by Step there was the one like brother or whatever, the blonde hair one with the glasses, and he was like super.
Yeah, Mark.
He was like super hot for all the girls.
Yeah, he was also the kid in the first Beethoven.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Didn't think you'd get a Beethoven reference on this show, did you, folks?
I heard that Tong Po produced Beethoven's records.
He may have. Or the Venga Boys. Anyway. Opening round matches. Vicky tries to escape. We just cut to Vicky like she's a fighter. She's been there for 2 years now, and she's still fighting. We go back to the tournament. We get to see Megan kick some ass. Then we get to see Lando in action, and that gets Darcy tingling in her loins.
She's I'll give her credit. This wasn't just like I need a lay. She's got something set on Lando.
Yeah.
No lube necessary.
No, she's all natural. Jack is in action next, and this is where Lando's like, I'm going to help my boy out. So I'm going to start up with this Darcy chick because I know I could get a rise out of her. And so that distracts Tong Po for some reason. Like he's very concerned that his hospitality manager is having to deal with a unruly fighter. So he misses David's entire fight until it's like over, and then David's like walking away, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
He's like, that guy walks very robotic.
Yeah, and David talks to Lando, and he's like, "We need to find a way to get to where those women are being held." And Lando's like, "Oh, I know how I could find out.
I'll pump Darcy for information."
Oh, you're right, because he goes right over to Darcy's room. And he beds her like she's been wanting for the whole fucking movie.
Whew.
Her diddling dreams came true, folks.
What a lucky gal. Am I right, guys?
Right.
Lando's making dreams come true.
So post diddling, he tries to drill her for some information and or pump her for some information, as Ryan Campbell so eloquently put it. And she's like, well, Tong Po was going to kill me if he finds out I help you. But I was like, hey, I can offer you a fresh start.
I'm not quite sure how, but I can do it.
Here's a fresh start and a plan B pill.
Ooh, nice. Very good. And then Bill, who's just, I don't know, creeping around. He's there. He walks right by as Lando's leaving Darcy's room. And then I'm assuming, Chris, that some time has passed. I don't know how much time has passed, because then he's also there when he sees this mass marauder going into Lando's room.
Bill is everywhere.
So do you think what's the time frame here?
I'm not sure about the time frame, but how come every time the mass marauder is on the prowl, people are doing it?
Hey, I don't know. He's like a
so I mean, yeah,
horny Cupid or something. I don't know.
is Jack Jones secretly like a peeping Tom, and the tournament is just a
Yeah.
ploy to go and
Right.
catch other fighters getting their groove on with these sex slaves?
I think the fighting, right? The blood, the smell of it, and the
All the
sweat in the air,
testosterone.
all that testosterone. Everybody's all
Right,
horny
yeah.
as fuck, right? So
Yeah.
then it's like when you go to the Arnold Festival, right, in Columbus, Ohio. It's like the highest sex trafficking weekend in the fucking country or something. It's
If you ain't
nuts.
fighting, you're fucking. That's how it goes.
So it's yeah, I think they're just they got all this pent up energy, and they're trying to fuck it out.
Okay, yeah, that's probably could be why those fights are so like, they're putting the more work in
That's
after
why they don't
hours.
have any energy. Yeah.
They're all worn out. Yeah.
So yeah, they get to Lando. So Bill goes in there and he has one of his goons with him, and they just beat the shit out of Lando. And then they take Lando to see Tong Po. And so I mean, do they assume Lando was the masked marauder? Wouldn't they also try to look for this mask in his room to be like, aha, evidence?
Wouldn't it have been great if they had opened up a bag and there was like a mask, but it was like a zipper mask, like a gimp mask?
Like a Pulp Fiction mask.
Yeah, the gimp. Oh, that would have been great.
So Tong Po somehow is like, why don't you admit you're with the DEA? And of course, Lando's not going to do it. He says, go fuck yourself. He said, hey, Tong Po,
Yeah.
go fuck
Oh,
yourself. And the crowd went wild in the
Crowd
theater.
popped.
Just didn't play in. But anyway, oh yeah, where's David is using his new intel to try to free Vicky. So he's going to the place where he saw her through the window, and he's just checking room after room, but there's no Vicky.
He keeps going to that threesome room. He's like,
Yeah,
where is she?
they're not there either. Nothing's
Man,
going
they're
on.
still not here.
Hey, bro.
So then we cut back to Tong Po, who's now like, all right, we'll bring Darcy in. If we start fucking around with her, you'll talk. And of course, Lando. He squeals. He tells all.
You damn pussy.
Next thing you know, David is caught, and Tong Po's like, it's David Sloan. See, he should have had his hypno glasses on, and he
Should have had his glasses on.
this wouldn't have happened. And now we got David, and he's hanging up with Lando, and they also decided to hang dead. I guess she probably wasn't dead when they first hung her up, but they really did a number on her abdominal region, Chad Cruz.
Yeah, they did some diddling with some knives or something.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because she didn't really do anything wrong.
No.
She's the one that's wronged here, right? And
Right. If Love and Lando was wrong, she didn't want to be right.
you know, if anything, you know, I feel like the person they should have done that to was Megan.
Yeah. Why?
Right? Because she's
the Jim Kelly. So she
she's
should
the
have
Jim
been killed
Kelly
first. Yeah.
Yes, she's Jim Kelly.
And if anything, Darcy kind of helped, capture him and bring their plan to light. She's doing doing her job.
And she had a great pair of tits.
Megan should have been called like Kelly James.
That would have, yeah.
Mm.
You know, Albert, when I read through the notes that you've written here, Brain, I'm seeing Bill this, Tom this, David this. It looks like some first-year film student wrote this fucking script, and he didn't know any good names, so he just inserted all his uncle's names. And it's just
that
Thomas
or like the
Bill.
freshman
Yeah, they're
class.
almost like stand-in names. They're like,
Yeah,
we'll
it's
put like
bad.
the generic names here, and we'll just add everything into post later.
Right. It's like freshman class at Harvard Law or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And when I
Trust
think of
fund
Albert
business.
Pune, I think of Harvard Law as well. So thank you for making that correlation. So now we get to day 2 of the tournament, and things now escalate. It gets very exciting because
That's
now
day 2.
That was a long day.
I know, my God.
now it's all fight to the death rules.
About time.
So what happens to like the people who lost in the first round? Like they just lucked out. Like, oh, good thing you lost in the first round, because if you lose in round 2, you're dead.
Now, do you think you get a buy? Do you think that they moved to the fight to the death rules because of the whole situation, or was this always the plan?
I think the ratings were really shit for day 1, and they're like,
You're right.
we got to pump it up with some fight to the death rules, bro.
Some thumbtacks and shit.
Yeah.
Isn't this they act like this isn't even the first one they've done? Like that it's an annual
Oh, it's
thing.
the 7th annual.
Right. So why I guess the other 7 weren't all fight to the death, everybody dies, because you would have thought word would have gotten out.
Yeah.
No, if everybody dies, then I don't know. They probably thought the guy whoever won just disappeared because they were like a million.
I gotta imagine like the underground fight game isn't a giant community, so you think they would notice if every year like 20 people from the community disappear.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
The
maybe
weekend after.
maybe a guy like Thomas hears about the fight to death rules and he's like, hell yeah, I'm totally in.
Oh yeah, I don't
love-
doubt there'd be a few people that would be like, yeah, sign me up. But like
Yeah.
a decent amount of them all act surprised, and then you've got
Mhm.
the 5 or so that are like, we didn't sign up for this. Like, well, what the hell did you think you were signing up for?
You've got capoeira pants like I practice a quasi martial art that never punches anyone.
Mhm.
Maybe I shouldn't join this tournament.
He stays. He's not one of the 5 that try to opt out. So yeah, the 5 guys like, all right, yeah, we're not into this. All right, Tom Po's like, well, get the hell out of here then, and then he shoots them in their backs as they leave.
As they slowly look back and like saunter out.
Like after the first shot, you would have thought the other guys would have just started.
I would have known some shit was up as soon as he said it, and I would have bolted myself out of there.
Oh, you can't fool Ryan Campbell.
No, I've seen enough of these movies to know he's gonna kill us all.
They
Anyway.
didn't see these movies. They live in a world where these movies didn't exist.
I think you zigzag a little bit on the way out,
Serpentine,
You're
yeah.
supposed to zigzag.
serpentine motion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, they leave. They get shot. Thomas takes on capoeira pants, and they say capoeira on the pants. If him doing it was not indication enough for you, it says it on the pants. And Thomas loves killing people, so this is like, he's like, finally,
He's been unleashed.
Megan is in action again, and Tong Po. Chris, at this point, Tong Po is like he's just wiggling in his chair. He's giddy.
He's getting diddled by all this.
He's bricked up.
He's kind of like stomping his feet. Like I'm surprised. It was almost like when you like watch Peter Griffin clap on Family Guy, like the like he got like way too excited. Like he was built up as this big intimidator in Kickboxer 1 and again in Kickboxer 2. And then here it's like, oh, boy, he's become a drug lord now. He's kidnapped your wife. He's raping women. He's doing sex trafficking and everything. And he's walking around with the lei and he's giddy. It's like, okay, did that fight in Kickboxer 2, did he suffer some type of like, traumatic brain injury? Like what has caused this shift? Like, I know we've got a different actor, like that's fine, but you could have done the different actor, goofy makeup or not, and still had him be a killer. And it's almost like they took this very, intense character and made him an eccentric. It doesn't flow with the previous Tong Po vibe.
No, I mean he's too entrenched with the Venga boys, and it's not what we're wanting to see from Tong Po. So, we get capoeira pants. Megan's in action. Then he's like, the guards beat the shit up David and Lando, just dump them on the mat. And this is where Tong Po gives his history lesson about his grudge with the DEA, which is almost as strong as his grudge with the Sloan boys. And the tournament is in memory of his wife. And then also we see Bill, good old Bill's there with a gun to Vicky's head. And he's like, all right, $500,000 bonus to anyone who could take out David. Again, Ryan Campbell, they're just making these rules up as they go.
Yeah, and so now it's like a battle royale, I guess. Yeah, it's a very poorly structured tournament for this being the 7th year. They really got to get this stuff sorted out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like a gauntlet match.
They need a better booker.
Yeah.
Somebody.
There must be some like billionaire son who's booking this shit.
Right. just making it up as he goes. Tong Po turns to Megan and is like, you got to get in there too. You fight or die. But this is where she's like, you know what? I don't think you're all that. And I mean, this is really, to your point, Chris, like this scene right here, especially just cuts the balls right off of Tong Po. She just calls him out on his bullshit. And it's like, he doesn't really do anything about it.
And he already let her get away with not killing her last opponent.
Right.
Yeah,
He
he's
just
let her
kind
get
of
away
laughed
with
it
like
off.
he's let her get away with like 50 things, and just
Yeah. It's this movie can be a struggle at times.
Yeah, like he shot the 5 guys that were going to walk away, and meanwhile she's here like starting the revolution, and he's just like, "Oh, this is how it's going to be."
But she has a diddle pocket and they didn't.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Tong
A
Po.
diddle pocket?
That's right.
Is that like an after-school snack? Like put it in the microwave and then you sit and have
You
your
heat
diddle
it up.
pocket while you're
Once
watching
you heat
TV?
up, it's best when heated.
mercy flavored.
Ooh.
Tong Po and it's now okay. So all right, this is where the movie could save itself, right? So now that she's got all the fighters, like, yeah, she's right. That's bullshit. And then the Tong Po security is like, uh-oh, we better help our boss. And then they're fighting. But now, here's where the movie could save itself. Tong Po, David Sloan, the rematch that we've all wanted. And they moved to the banquet set because they had it set up. And Bill shows up. First, Tong Po has Vicky, but then David like, hey, this is between me and you. Okay, so he throws Vicky aside, but Bill's right there to retrieve her. And again, with the gun to her head as they watch from afar. And Tong Po does jack shit, fuck all in this fight. And he just gets pinned up against a tree at some point, and David's just pummeling him, Chad Cruz. Just beats the shit out of Tong Po.
Yeah, David's like fucking Steven Seagal in this movie. He just beats the shit out of people, and he is a very imposing like character in this movie because everyone seems so much smaller. I don't know if it's just because all the actors are like teeny tiny, or David's like, I don't know, how tall is Sasha Mitchell? Like 6'4"?
And that hair probably gives him an extra 2 inches.
2 inches, right? I'd love to have an extra 2 inches, but he's got to be. He looks like he's 6'9" in this, right?
Yeah.
69. But he beats the fuck out of Tong Po. And Tong
in
Po,
case there weren't enough sexual references in here, thank God you got that 69.
This has been a very horny episode.
Thank God you got that in because it just seems so tame and pedestrian.
Right.
Fucking
You guys got the reference though, right?
Fuckers. God damn it.
So yeah, Tong Po gets the shit beat out of him. And it's very embarrassing. It's an embarrassing fight too, because they're like on a table. And the table never breaks.
Why is the table still set? Like, were they going to have a like what? I don't. This whole
no one cleaned up after the party.
Yeah.
Well, he just killed his hospitality director.
That's
she was
true. Darcy was too busy, and then she was dead. Come on, Darcy, get a staff.
It's a poor fight. David runs roughshod on these guys. He beats the shit out of everybody, and even like so Thomas is now fighting on Tong Po's side. And Thomas kind of whoops Lando's ass a bit, right?
Yeah.
And then Lando gets his ass kicked.
To be fair, Lando's had the shit beat out of him for the last, half hour of the movie.
He has.
Not 100%.
I don't know. It's just the fighting in this movie.
But the worst part is so then Bill stops because he's like, okay, he's gonna kill Tong Po. That's my boss. And he's threatening to shoot Vicky again, but he doesn't realize David grabbed a knife. And David very nonchalantly just throws that knife right into his forehead. So there goes Bill. And then Tong Po just runs away.
It was like
get a satisfying.
So the DEA does not get their man, which was the whole point of sending David Sloan into the tournament.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So Megan and Lando and David and Vicky all walk away and credits hit and thank God.
It's like, why don't you just I don't know if he was like afraid to end the Tong Po saga.
Right. But what a horrible end. Maybe they had planned a fifth one with
it'll probably pay off. Yeah, it'll probably pay off in Kickboxer 5.
Probably won't. All right, so the end credits. Ryan Campbell, your first time, and I'm going to guess possibly your last. Well, there might be one scene you return to several times when you don't have your kids at the house. Your thoughts here on Kickboxer for the Aggressor?
Yeah, Brian. I mean, there's something that we call those of you that may be out there watching that are also fans of anime will know what I'm talking about here, where you just wait too long for the payoff. Maybe you're trying to stretch it out or in a series for too many seasons or shows. And eventually, or we know we have a big wrestling fan audience. Sometimes you just drag out that payoff too long, and before you know it, it's just you've lost the steam and it's over. And I feel like that this is that with Tong Po. Long are we past kind of like the top of his heat? It's a different actor. Like, I don't know. It should have been finalized well before this, and then you just build up a new villain or something. And then he still gets away, so we still don't even have, 4 movies worth of comeuppance that he's due, and the movies are just losing steam every single time, and eventually now the entire series is affected by not getting this finalization, and you're hurting even the original. So, I mean, not very good. Yeah, great, probably the best threesome scene in a non-porno movie, but
Wow.
Tong Po really brings the movie down and retroactively hurts the others in the series.
Yeah, why couldn't they have Tong Po have a brother named like John Po?
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you were gonna like have to cast somebody else, just figure something out and have it be someone different.
Right.
Dong Po.
Right. Yeah, that's from the porn.
My
parody.
guess is they were hoping that they would pull in the audience from the other ones, but now you're just you're hurting the franchise because you're just dragging this thing out.
Well, they pulled Toyman in. Toyman, what did you think on this rewatch?
I've always felt that this is the weakest. Well, let me say this, because Kickboxer 5 came along, which technically isn't even really a Kickboxer film. But if we're going just along with the Sloan saga,
Yeah.
this is the weakest of the 4. It felt like Sasha Mitchell wasn't really into it, which, I know that we talked about his character being like a little more stoic and not like the Zen master that he was trying to be in part 2. We don't have Dennis Chan here this time. It's almost like they took the first 3 films and tried to cram a little bit of all of them into this one movie. We've got the Tong Po storyline, the war with the Sloans, the sex trafficking angle. It's like they took 1, 2, and 3, threw it in a blender, and released a totally new film, but it completely destroyed the fun and the vibe of the previous 3. This isn't one that I go back to, every now and again. I might be like, oh, you know what? This just popped up. It's on Tubi. I'll let, the next movie plays and it's this one or something like that. And obviously it resides in my collection, but it will not top 2, but it doesn't top any of the other ones. This one is by far the weakest of the Kickboxer franchise in my eyes.
Chad Cruz, you covered this for the site many years ago.
I did.
Your Eskimo brothers with one of the stars.
Yep.
What do you have to say about this poor man's Enter the Dragon?
Right. Poor man's Into the Dragon. Doesn't mean it's terrible, right? But there's some good things. Let's start with some good things here.
Okay.
My guy, Brad Thornton, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think he's still a kind of worthy sidekick in this movie. He helps David a lot. David's really checked out, like you talked about David Sloan, like he's just not, he's barely in the movie, it seems like. And when he's there, he's very un-David like, right? Mm-hmm. The whole thing we know about David from part 2 and part 3 is what he's very Zen like, he's a fighter, whatever, but he cares about kids. He cares about underprivileged people. He wants to help them. He'll do that despite what he's trying to accomplish. Like he will help Marcos and his sister no matter what, even if he's got a big fight coming up in part 3. So there's no kids to help here. Instead, we take David from the character that we've created, and now his wife's getting raped. You know what I mean? That wife that we've never met. So right. They changed the character so much. It's playing from behind. It's hard to do. And the Tong Po character is so bad. And again, they changed the character so much, and they put a new actor in there. And even I can get around the fact that there's a different actor with shitty prosthetics. I can get around that, but now he's like a cartel leader. This fucking tournament business is stupid. Like it just doesn't, it's so bad. Like you said, it's like they took a bunch of ideas, they threw them in a hat, and they just dumped the hat on a piece of paper and took them all.
And really, the best connection this movie has to anything with the original, movies that started with Van Damme or anything is that, Tong Po here, which is, how do you say his name? Kamel Krifa.
Yep.
He's another friend of Van Damme's
Mhm.
who is also like his personal trainer. So there is
Right.
a legit connection to Van Damme here. I don't know if that played into the fact that we actually got some actual Van Damme Kickboxer 1 footage here, or if it was just happenstance or what have you. So it's not like they hired some schmuck to be, as far as looking the part of an intimidating villain, he's there. But to be Tong Po, to be made into Tong Po, it just does not work.
Right. Again, he should have been an ally of Tong Po. He should have been, I don't know,
Right.
a relative, something. They could have tied that in. But yeah, I think we've said it here. The big problem is the main two characters aren't the main two characters that we are accustomed to. They have completely stripped them away of the things that made them great in the first two movies. Well,
And I don't think Sasha Mitchell, I think, does a fine job. He's just that weight that you're mentioning, Brain, of not being those two stars weighs heavily on them. And it almost would have been better to just, you could even still call it Kickboxer, but just do it like a, legacy sequel or something where he's studied him or whatever. And doesn't necessarily have to be his family member, but just try to like get him away from the shackles there, that weight of JCVD. And because I don't think he was terrible. What are his like martial arts bona fides? Did he have that before, or was he just like a handsome face and they're like, well, we can teach him to throw some kicks?
No,
I thought
he studied the martial arts.
I think he was like a Muay Thai guy, right, or a kickboxing guy.
Yeah.
And I actually love the way that he fights, because unlike Van Damme, who I adore, I worshipped as a kid. Like Sasha Mitchell fights like a kickboxer would fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the low kicks and the elbows, like all that stuff. He looks like a guy who's actually spinning. Oh, he loves that fucking spinning knee. And I think the problem with this movie, the biggest problem is it's like watching like one of those cooking shows, right? Where they have all the contestants try to cook, and they're like, the secret ingredient, Iron Chef, secret ingredient is dog shit. So even if you have an amazing cook who can still make like some weird menu item that is edible, it still has a lingering taste of dog shit in it.
Chad Cruz chop up Johnsonville sausage and put it in with the dog shit.
Dude, I love a good Johnsonville sausage.
I know you do. Well, guess what, guys? You some of you have mentioned it, and I'm just going to let you all know, because next time right here on this program, we are going to cover the Redemption Kickboxer 5.
Please.
We may as well keep this Kickboxer train rolling here in Actionversary. That will be next time. Mark Dacascos, who his father's t-shirt showed up in this one. So I guess that's the connection. But yeah, that'll be next time here on the podcast. Of course, you can follow us on social media at Bulletproof Pod on X and on Blue Sky, and at Bulletproof Action on Facebook and Instagram. Again, check for that post I'm going to put up there. Who do you think Tong Po was a record producer for? Or who would you liked him to have been a record producer for? And why is it the Venga Boys? Tell me that as well on the social media. Bulletproofaction.com. Again, it is Actionversary. We'll be celebrating all month long. A lot of big things happening. Bruceploitation from A to Z. Sean has sent that over, and it's being worked on right now by the staff, getting it ready to go. Toyman mentioned his post. I talked about the Sirio Santiago. We're going to have more things coming up all month long, so stay tuned. Nobody 2 comes out. And Ryan Campbell, you've got some things you'll be covering. There's a brand new Alien series coming out.
That's right. Week. Alien Earth will be coming out on Hulu and Disney Plus and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be covering that. Some sci-fi, action, horror, fun for Actionversary. And there is a prehistoric War comes out later this month, which is kind of a combination of like the Jurassic Park, and then something that we love here on this site is 70s Vietnam, yes. 10 years in the thicket kind of stuff. So kind of a combination of the two.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, that one had Chad Cruz written all over it.
Yeah.
When I first saw that trailer.
I mean, if
so
you want it in October, he can do it.
That's true. Or October of 2026. All right.
If you want it next year, I'll do it.
Yeah, he's got you.
In fact, I'll probably review it.
Probably
next
will,
year, not knowing that you already did.
Yeah. I'll be like, oh, he did it, and then, okay, it's a different take. It's a different take. So there you go. Toyman, anything else you want to mention before we close up shop here?
No, I think I tackled it in the beginning. But as always, stay tuned for more Toyman posts, No Surrender Cinema, essential episodes, all the Actionversary stuff from all of our contributors. And it's been a while since I threw out a plug for figurestoycompany.com, but please check us out over there as well. We just released the classic blue cage for the Figures Toy Company ring. That's up there now. So go to figurestoycompany.com and check out all that we've got for your wrestling figure needs, as well as retro figures from DC Comics, the Three Stooges, and more.
There you go, folks. The big blue cage. That was something special back in the day. Yeah, I just want to thank everybody, as I always do. And I'm glad you're joining us on this Kickboxer journey that we are taking, and hope you will join us next week. So stay tuned. And as always, stay tuned for more of that. I just double stay tuned. You know what?
That's fine. That's fine. I was wondering how you're going to get yourself through it.
I'm out. I'm really. There was too much diddle talk tonight. I can't think straight. But listen,
a lot of blood flow down.
Do you want me to take it, Brain?
No, thank you for listening. And as always, stay tuned for more of the Bulletproof Podcast.